ahead with our next session. It's all about Fireside Chat. So the topic for today is leveraging automation of effective information security management, opportunities and challenges for CISOs. We have moderator Mr. Amey Subhash, Lakeshri, Director Cybersecurity, Privacy and IR at EY. Mr. Lakeshri has diverse and impressive background in information security and IT management. With over 12 years of experience, he has gained knowledge of modern concepts and end-to-end project planning and implementation, activity, efforts, and cost estimation. He is focused on business to accomplish corporate goals successfully. His expertise in data security, information security, data privacy, IT, business, incident management, governance, and compliance showcases his ability to handle a variety of responsibility within this industry. He is not only strategies but also an implementer, ensuring that his plans comes to success. He recognized the importance of continuous learning and collaboration to achieve success. With his commitment to expanding his scope of knowledge and working with others, he is poised to achieve even greater accomplishment in this field of information security and IT management. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Mr. Lakeshri. And I would request Mr. Lakeshri to please introduce other panelists. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I would like to welcome Mr. Ambarish, the CISO from Godrej and Boyce. Next, Mr. Pushkal Tenjerla, CISO CMS. So before coming up, we were just thinking, where is fire? Because we want a fireside chat in this, but I know we have esteemed speakers over here who definitely have set the fire on the stage.
No, CISOs are supposed to douse fires, right? At least that's what we are paid for.
Absolutely. Great. So to start with today's topic, Ambarish, I would like to understand, we keep on talking about automation, right? This word is like anything, comes from board, from anyone, from your consultants and anyone. Even if they come for a pitch, they will say, sir, we'll automate this. Right, and that will reduce your efforts, cost, and of course you will have an enhanced performance or outcome. But while saying that, what are the benefits do you see in putting it in the information security management system? Because ISMS is kind of a word which is close to our heart, right? So when you actually put it into the system of ISMS, what are the benefits do you see into that?
Sure, I think it's very relevant today. I'll take just one step back. So traditionally, we have been doing a lot of things as a security fraternity to address various risks. The threat landscape has been changing. On-premise to cloud, business wants their customers and employees wants to access anything from anywhere, from any device. And we have been handling through a certain approach. And then also, we have been getting breached. I think almost everybody has been breached, whether we know or not. Now, it means there is something is missing. And the game is the one too many. Like you want to bridge all the gaps. However, you have plethora of hackers. They are trying to find out one weak area and you're trying to exploit. Now to address this, I think automation is going to play a key role. Okay? Because, and we see a lot of products are now leveraging this AI and ML capabilities. And I think this is going to grow very fast. Otherwise, we will not be able to handle what we aim to do. And because manually, we will not be able to handle the kind of threats, the kind of the hacker community is growing. The game is not fair. The major advantage I see, if you you're going to leverage automation from the product perspective, from the process perspective. The one is you're going to make the hacker's job tougher. It means you have some automated response. You are able to take automatic action based on your vulnerability or threat has come. Probably hacker, the first step of enumeration, probably you're going to make his job tougher. Second thing is your incident response will become faster. And because you are going to act on the very actionable alerts. You're not wasting time on something else. A third one is, I think, you all agree, we all are hiring, right? The pool is same. So if you have automation at certain area, probably we will be able to solve the skill gap issue up to certain limit. However, this requires focus on something else also, because you're going to adopt automation. You need to have those skills. However, in general, we see the huge gap of skills in cybersecurity all across. So I think we'll be able to solve that also up to certain limit. I think top 3 advantages, straight away, it comes to my mind.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. I mean, if we take an example of an SIM, right? And if you implement or integrate only one firewall to that, you will see millions of logs coming into that, right? And then identifying the events, logs to events and events to incident, it becomes challenge. And when you have another SOAR and next gen SOAR and AML tag, integrating with the SOAR, it's actually taking your MTTR down, right? And reducing it down. So you want to just highlight more on that from maybe a SOAR and...
Yeah, so I think we see a lot of things are happening from the automation perspective in cyber defense perspective. A lot of people, I keep talking to various CISOs, they have automated 95%, 85% of job of a L1 who is monitoring, who is looking at your console in Security Operations Center. Now, what is the advantage of this is, he's the guy, at the end of the day, he's the human being. He's the junior guy. He has got limited skills, limited visibility, probably whatever the knowledge he has. The technology enabling him to look at the very, very, very relevant alerts so that the main purpose of SOC is achieved. Rather than, if you see the funnel, if you're starting a journey on SIM solution, you'll see a presentation of people talking about funnel. You'll have 10,000 alerts, and finally it is coming down to 3-digit or 4-digit, right? Now, probably people are working at how to bring it to single digit by maturing the SOC processes, by maturing the SIM platform itself, building more use cases, building more threat feed into the platform itself, so that my L1 is working on very, very, very relevant actionable alerts, so that it becomes very, very, it is able to achieve the purpose of the SOC. And that is one thing. Second thing is, people are working in this space that you talked about SOAR, right? So you look at the one example we have been talking about, to get a firewall. If you have the automated, you have implemented the SOAR into it, you are getting traffic from the blacklisted IP or malicious IP, it takes automatically its blocks. Otherwise, what will happen, the alert will come, SOC will analyze that, after 6 hours, they will say, please block, and the network team will take another 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours to block. The things which is being done today in seconds, it will take around 8 to 10 hours, minimum. So that is the power of automation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Pushkal, over to you now. And we talked about the benefits and the advantages initially, what automation can bring on the table when we are talking about the ISMS. So what are the challenges you will see while implementing automation in the information security systems?
So let's split it into infra and applications. These are the two, like complex infrastructure, legacy infrastructure. Though of course legacy infrastructure is now dying down in terms of going over to the cloud and all. Less sort of a challenge. But legacy applications, wherein AppSec is of course one of the most important components or whatever you call it in information security. The only way to overcome this is thorough assessments. Assess thoroughly, take relevant steps, do your vulnerability assessments. This is what is a challenge I see. Of course, don't overcomplicate infrastructure. Some organizations, of course, like especially the BFSI sector, has layers and layers of protection built in. Every industry has their own way of doing it. What I think is that assessment over assessment helps. And try and see where we can simplify it, or may not be simplified, may make it less complex, but still stay robust. We cannot compromise on that part. So your assessment on just not on a paper. It has to be an actual, as Mr. Sunil also said, it has to be an actual implementation. And that's the only way I think we can beat the complexity and the challenges around that.
Okay, understood. Is there any example you want to just quickly talk about the automation which you have, brought on the table or implemented in last maybe couple of years?
So in terms of automation, it is all bots that read all our alerts. And see, false positives is one thing, but false negatives is more of a problem. False positive, okay, everybody came to work, everybody fought over, went back and slept. What about a false negative? If a false negative comes up, are we relying totally on automation? How do you even know it's a false negative? So that human intervention or that, even if you put in the best of automation, somewhere that intelligence has to come in, and you call it AI, call it ML, call it human intelligence. Collectively, we need to bring that out. So those negatives that are not actually negatives anymore, they are actually, addressed and not just swept under. So this can come only through high-level analytics, reporting, or proper machine-based learning, based on industry, based on the type of domain that we are, based on the kind of infra we are. That would be my view on that.
Absolutely. So Ambarish, one thing like most of the every organization definitely is growing and they're adopting the different digital transformation journey, right? While doing that and having that journey, one thing they definitely want to avoid are the attacks, right? And more than that, they want to be on the top of the table to be best in incident response, right? So do you think automation can help in incident response and improving the SOC operations in a way?
Yeah, I think we touched upon a little bit in the previous question. Yeah. We keep talking about this framework, etc. So, and as Sunil also brought out, probably if things go wrong, you need to have a robust incident response plan in place. Now, more important is how often do your cyber drill? Okay, and cyber drill people keep doing the checklist and the simulation, which is known to everybody that today we are going to practice. This is communicated to everybody 1 month, 2 months in advance that we will practice on so-and-so day, so-and-so time about ransomware, or maybe this particular application is not accessible. But have you ever done an unalerted cyber drill? If you're not done, please attempt it, and then only you will probably able to gauge the real effectiveness of your IR plan, because that is the only very closer to the real incident. Real incident will happen. You are suddenly you will receive a call that something is going wrong, and that will become bigger, right? So one is that. Second thing, now that is the process perspective. Second, you talked about technology. How technology can help you in the remediate or taking a response on faster pace. That's why I talked about the SOAR platform. You talk about various, like you talk about EDR and XDR, right? They're going to help you. They're going to give you a lot of data to make sure that you are able to gauge what has gone wrong, what you need to do next. This technology is going to empower you. Okay, that's why you see adoption of EDR, XDR is growing fast, because they are helping people. Even if because we understand that things will go wrong, but idea is that how quickly you can come out of it. That is the main game, and that is where your well-practiced IR plan, supported by the technologies like SOC, SIM, EDR, XDR, etc., is going to help you.
Great. So Pushkal, while we are discussing on this automation and all things, where we understand we have already invested in multiple tools, right?
Like what he said just
Right, exactly. And then saying that when you're implementing actually that, how will you understand the collaboration between all the different tools are talking to each other, and how this automation will actually get implemented within all this ecosystem of the tools which you have purchased?
So what is automation? Automation basically, in my view, some amount of intelligence that is built from the input of all these tools, or sorry, the output of all these tools that we see. So that's the layer. There are several tools coming up in the market which talk of, I will check vulnerability across all your infra components, all your CIs, all the tools that you need. I have a tool or a tool which can also tell me what it is. Now, again, where is the intelligence that is doing? That, I think, is only that particular CISO or the organization can develop for its own self. It may not be a, you don't have to sit and write your own programs on that, available in the market, but I think that kind of what I should say, what is required for you. For example, my organization, we are into secure logistics / BFSI. Now, some guys from China is trying to hit my public domain server. It doesn't really matter to me. There's nothing on my website. Everything is inside the intranet. So, is that critical for me? Except reputational loss, I don't lose anything else there in that sense. So, again, all these tools, they give out outputs, our own automation or our own analysis, and it doesn't happen overnight. Sir, excuse me, but it doesn't happen overnight. So it takes time to build what is required, and that's the only way to make it work, make it effective.
Absolutely. And how does it help in improving the comprehensive or having a cyber posture?
Again, false positives, false negatives again. So the data from here helps us fine-tune. Do we do a red teaming exercise, for example, unknown vulnerabilities, dark web probing, all these things we try and keep on using it. There is a checklist of hundreds of checklists available, different frameworks available which we can use to improve our posture. All these tell us where are the weak spots in your patching servers, especially legacy systems. That's my favorite thing. We have systems which are 15 years old, not patched, servers which are not patched in 7 years. These are the weak points that any attacker would try to pick up. Again, other than the phishing pieces and all which we go around. These kind of tests over and over, these kind of analysis, these kind of data points that come up from the tools, any responsible or intelligent organization should pick up the red signals from there and act on it. Now, how it is implemented differs from organization to organization.
Absolutely. I'll just continue question from here to there. And what do you think, how this organization, what do they need to do to adopt this kind of adoption of the automation in the systems? Specifically when you're looking for skill sets and different responsibilities with the IS team, right, information security team. So what are the things organization needs to do while having this shift towards the automation?
Yeah, I think we are all grappling with the skill gap. Okay, I just said before, if you're leveraging or you want to leverage automation, probably you need to build those skills in the team. Your team should know what you are going to do, how it is going to change the game. Because as you rightly said, false negatives are very dangerous. So how you are going to train your system, because this will not happen overnight, it's going to happen over time. So that's why I say the machine learning, and then only you are able to, that once you are tuned the system learns the behavior, thereafter you know that how to reduce the false positive, false negatives, and thereafter you are confident. So to understand this, to do this, you need to have skills in the team. Okay. Secondly, you talked about it will be cultural shift for the security team itself, because a lot of dependence on the tools, and sometimes we don't know what is happening behind the tool. So they need to understand how this automation is going to happen. If tomorrow there is a requirement, whether this OEM is going to support me, or do we have any alternate mechanism to do this, or do we have something else which is requirement of my organization based on my threat landscape, whether they are able to cater for it or not. Those things needs to be looked at. And it has to be holistically. And look at your long-term journey. Okay? Look at where you are going from the threat landscape perspective, and then invest in the right direction as per your roadmap.
Absolutely. I'll just add one more question to that. Of course, we have heard about the concept of vCISO, right? And earlier it was like, and some of the consultant is doing the consultancy. Mostly they are doing CP only, which is cyber program assessment, and helping client to understand what is the strategical journey and all that. Nowadays, we do see that technology can do partial work out of that, right? And tell you by getting all the insights from different tools, putting the automation on top of it, right? And then telling you some of the actionable insights. So how do you see this entire journey of, kind of making a vCISO, vCI kind of products using automation, right? And how do you see against when you have a real-time threats coming, like a zero-day attacks in your systems? So how do you, conceptualize this particular challenge?
Yeah, so the governance mechanism, right? You want to have virtual CISO because you know that you're probably not able to hire somebody on permanent basis because you don't have that much work, okay? Because you understand your threat landscape. Somebody has told you, why don't you go for the virtual CISO until you have a right infrastructure, right team in place? Why don't you get a governance guidance from somebody who is seasoned, who understands this? So the vCISO has been growing very fast. And I know a couple of friends are doing virtual CISO. And so I think they spend out to, initially they spend more time to understand the organization. And thereafter I start giving them what we need to do as per the priority. They connect with the board, they connect with the leadership team. Actually, their main job is to make the top management understand why we need this. Because the operationally people, the technical people, they're not able to convince. They start talking about in technical language. However, top management doesn't understand a lot of technical languages, right? They understand a language of revenue, growth, return on investment, etc. So they convert that language, and probably they're able to bridge that gap, and they provide oversight to the team so that they're able to bridge the gap.
Okay, cool. So Pushkal, one question to you is like, what are the different legal and ethical consideration organization should take while adopting the automation, and how it is going to help in getting complied with the regulation and the other compliance?
So, compliance is the easier part, but the ethical part is what comes to play. Compliance is easy. I collect all the information, I'm compliant, or any amount of automation I pick up, call it any statutory audit, call it any kind of compliance audit, all my controls are in place, here you are. Now the ethical part is, what are we sharing or what are we collecting? Is your blood group important? Do you have diabetes? Is that important? Does a doctor tell you that? I mean, I'm talking across industries. So what is it that ethically we are giving out? Now, compliance to regulators like the GDPRs of the world, the HIPAAs of the world, our own regulators are there which we give, is one part of it. So, when we do automation, it cannot be blind tooling. It has to be an intelligent way of, first of all, do it, keep on reviewing it. Keep reviewing it so that nothing that is not required is going out. It could be as simple as a payslip. Right. I mean, what are we giving out? What is the compliance that we're giving out? What is the data flow out? All the problems start when data starts flowing out. So that's where we need to tighten our controls. Automation, bringing in automation is easy, but reviewing it, keep on reviewing it, that requires investments in resources, which could be human resources, it could be any kind of tool that is there, what is going out, why should date of birth go out? A classic example I can give from my organization. We have a tool which is not an HR tool, but it pulls data from the HR system for validation. Now, why should somebody's bank account be there in this system? That means nobody has reviewed it. Nobody has reviewed it, we found it, we removed it quickly. It should not be there. So automation, blind automation doesn't make, so again, I keep coming back to reviews, keep on reviewing PDCA, keep on checking, and just don't rely on automation blindly. Do it, very required. 99% of the problems, all the mundane activities can be eliminated, but it has to be reviewed. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think people process technology. Yes. Somebody has coined this word for us many decades ago. It still exists today. All three has to complement each other. Yeah. If they work in silos, cybersecurity program is going to fail. Majority of the places, if you see, you talk about any technocrat, right? He doesn't like process. He wants everything scripting, But that's why you need to have a GRC team in the cybersecurity team. You need to have a cyber defense team. You need to have a security engineering, application security, because you need to have blend of people, blend of skills in the cybersecurity team to have a successful cybersecurity program.
Yes.
Great. So one last question for the first round, and then I'll move to the second round. So what are the 3 key steps you will tell the audience while choosing the automation tool or something? 3 key steps.
From my view, I think look at your threat landscape, look at your organization, and look at where you can automate. What are the opportunity for you to automate? First thing. Second thing, do have appetite to do automation, the team, etc., to support that. Okay. A third thing is, whatever is doing, you look at a long term, how it is going to achieve if you are on journey of zero trust, how it is going to complement this. Don't go for any transformation journey because everyone is going for it. Make it contextual to your organization.
Great. So we'll move to round 2. It's quite different now, and we'll just give you one word, right? And then probably you have to take 30 seconds or 60 seconds as per your preference and talk about it. Probably we can start with you only, and maybe you can talk about forensics.
Yeah, so digital forensics, I was doing digital forensics for a couple of years. I did NCASE certification, but it expired 5-6 years back. But once you're looking for digital forensics, right, majority of things, when you are collecting artifact, the seizure procedure itself, people make a mistake. That is where if you go to court, etc., it falls into flat. So if you are a very regulated sector, please ensure that you have digital forensic artifact seizure procedure documented, well evangelized. Otherwise, you do the forensic, even you know that he is the culprit, he is going to court, and then the things will fall flat. Majority of the forensic cases, they don't get to the closure on the court. That is how I think you will also get advice from your forensic partner also.
Cool. Pushkal, how about you taking data leakage?
Okay, so data leakage is a big term. And data leakage prevention, there are hundreds of expensive tools, which we can all, flashy names are there. Buying a tool is very easy. Defining the policy that gets implemented inside the DLP tool, that's the challenge. I know you are from EY. I'm ex-EY. I have also worked in IBM. So the data leakage prevention in such organizations versus a different kind of say, a B2C organization would be vastly different. Now, so the tool is the same. Use McAfee or Safetica, whatever tool you want. End of the day, so what is that you want to prevent, what data do you want to prevent leakage from? But I know that EY doesn't even allow you to send a mail to your Gmail account. Whereas a media company won't care about that. I'm just giving an example because I've worked on both sides. Now, it's up to us as CISOs or the CIOs in the organization to define what data should never leave this organization and in what form it should not leave. People will try all different ways of masking it, changing the file name, removing the headers, removing the column names. So that's the intelligence. The development of the data leakage prevention policy is the most critical. Once you have the policy in place, any tool will more or less work on that. That's my take on it.
Absolutely. And I believe data flow analysis is also one of the important aspects.
Yeah, and then the analysis of it, and then continues my review by PDCA of that.
Yeah, thanks for pitching it.
Thank you.
Okay, coming to you, ChatGPT.
Yes, I think a lot of things has to go into play. A lot of research are happening. ChatGPT, a lot of countries have banned it. A lot of organizations are banning it due to the data security risk. Okay, I think ChatGPT forum may also come out that we are not going to use your data in some other format. So I again say, look at your business, how you are going to leverage these technologies. Okay, if we talk about certain businesses like design, etc., it is going to give fantastic results. We were, I think, last week itself, one of my another team member, he looked at how our cafeteria will look like, and ChatGPT gave a very fantastic look. And people were amazed at the interior of this cafeteria could be this better. So depend upon what is the cost-benefit analysis, the risk of allowing it, and what is the business benefit you have, because everyone in different business sectors. Okay, but how you will control it? Data, as you talked about, data protection is all about implementation and the cultural issue. So how you are going to handle those data security risks, you need to look at it from your organizational context perspective.
Absolutely, and because of ChatGPT, we heard about the news. In news also, we heard about one of the company, how they got, have data got leaked.
Even certain countries are blocked. So they have their own pros and cons.
Absolutely, absolutely. So final word for a day, metaverse.
Which one?
Metaverse.
Don't ask me anything about it. I don't know anything about it. No, so yeah, I'm not into that, and it is to me a different world. Why would I even go there when I have such a beautiful place to exist on? That's my take on that.
Absolutely. Maybe next year we might be having some of the audience joining through metaverse only.
Possible.
We never know.
Possible. And my avatar may be there also already. We don't know.
Great. So I think we have a couple of minutes for questions. Do we have any questions?
I think it was a very clear session for everyone to understand. Thank you so much to our moderator and panelists for giving us such insightful session. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to our moderator and panelists. Requesting Mr. Moderator and panelists to be on the stage. To felicitate them, I would like to call upon one of our most influential leader, Mr. Pawan Goel, Head of Business Solutions. You to please felicitate our moderator, Mr. Lakeshri. Lastly, I would request you to please